Professor Kolyanpin. Sorry, Mr. Saktiandi Supaat.
Mr. Speaker, you allow me permission to seek clarification from Mr. Leong Mun Wai.
Please do.
Mr. Leong Mun Wai, you mentioned that the GST hike will result in $1.2 billion in tax burden on middle-class Singaporeans in the long run. Can you share with us how you got that $1.2 billion figure, as I don't seem to be able to find it in published material? Thank you, Mr. Leong.
Thank you, Member Saktiandi, for the question. Speaker, I got the data by calculating from the ratio given by the Minister of Finance in terms of the share of the GST paid by the top 20% and the bottom 80%. It was in the ratio of 60 to 40%. Okay, so 40% to the bottom 80% and 60% to the top 20%. So if the total amount of GST revenue to be raised from a 2% increase in GST, that would be about $3 billion. So 40% of $3 billion, I got my $1.2 billion. That's how I got my $1.2 billion, yes.
That's a second additional clarification, please. Mr. Leong, can I ask you whether you can confirm that your calculations do not take into account the amounts that middle-income residents or Singaporeans will receive under the assurance package and the permanent GSTV scheme? Just want to confirm that your calculations do not include those.
Speaker, yes, the calculation don't take into consideration that, but I presume that the GST vouchers and all the compensation payment will only apply to the lower income Singaporeans. There are some applying to the middle income, but the permanent GST voucher, all that belongs to only the lower income. So at the end of the day, when the government argues that this is not regressive, it is not true. Because apart from the top 20%, who are the people who will bear the remaining 40% of the GST increase? Must be the middle-class Singaporeans. I hope that answers your question. Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Leong. I just asked, the reason why I asked is I just want to have an understanding, because the way I interpret the budget booklet and the statement that Minister Lawrence highlighted is that the assurance package and the permanent GSTV in some ways neutralize the impact on the majority, including the middle income as well.